What's going on, people? It's your boy, just call me E. And don't flip your phones upside down. You gotta be looking the right way. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Down below. And if you're new to the channel, that means you're part of the crew. Y'all know what I do. Let's go ahead and get into today's video. And so y'all don't be confused as hell, let me go ahead and flip myself right side up. Let us get it moving. 10 of the most insane police chases, because why not?
The 10 most insane police chases on the internet. Make sure to drop a like and try not to run away from the cops, or else you'll end up like...
Y'all already said, you know what I'm saying, hit that like button. And subscribe. You watching this, hit that subscribe button.
Number 10. Okay, so what really sets this first chase off for most is the fact that not only are the cops chasing down a literal school bus, but its driver is actually a student at the very school from which the bus was stolen from. Airing on A&E's Live PD, this juvenile driver was barely old enough to be behind the wheel, let alone handling a 26-passenger bus. Considering he was already bound to be charged, this young driver decided to swerve all over the road, at one point even heading into oncoming traffic. However, rather than colliding with the traffic on the other side of the road, our bus thief decided to go for a different target.
I can't even say I blame Grand Theft Auto, bro. I see damn. I don't want to see the race here. We all know, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no black kid doing this, bro. No offense to you. Ain't no black kid doing this. You know, not bad. Your parents will beat you if you did this. You was black. But Timmy and Jimmy, y'all get no weapons. If y'all got more ass whoopings, y'all be in check, man.
Yeah, thankfully nobody was seriously injured in this crash, and the kid was apprehended by police shortly afterwards. If this kid ever wanted to steal a car again, let's just hope he looks for a game like GTA for his thrills rather than actually doing it in real life.
Simple, bro. That's why I play Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying? I can blow as many people up as I want to, and it don't affect anybody, because it's a game.
But anyways, on to number 9. As far as police chases go, it's not uncommon to see a biker who isn't really keen on following speed limits enforced on highways. For this driver though, he wanted to do a little more than go fast as he evaded police custody, and rather than keeping his eyes on the road and attempting to truly escape the cops, he kinda wanted to show off a little.
High-speed chase, but when he put his feet on the seat, that was more than some could stand.
Look at this guy, look at this guy, look at this, look at this. He is totally...
I mean, I guess if he's going to jail anyway, he might as well make it a ride worth talking about once he gets put behind bars. Crazy part is, the culprit in question actually thought it was strange that the police tried to kick him off his bike during his joyride. Regardless of if he agreed with it or not, the guy was inevitably caught and promptly paid the price for his reckless antics.
Old Philip Resendez was arrested for felony evading and driving the wrong way.
What do you mean you didn't endanger anybody? You were standing on your bike going 100 miles per hour.
At the end of the day, nobody was hurt, and the guy apologized to his 2 daughters before being booked for his crimes.
That's the exact definition of not hurting nobody. Cool, I'm going 100 miles per hour, cool. But if I got enough balance to stand on the back, not me, he got enough balance to stand on the back of his bike while going 100 miles per hour and nobody was hurt, then nobody was hurt, chick. I hate news reporters, bro. Y'all be so stupid sometimes.
While he did walk away with a one-of-a-kind story to tell, I doubt it was worth the time spent in jail. Number 8. Imagine you're out on a family road trip, you know, RVing across the country. You stop at a place to rest and relax when some crazy lady hops in your RV and,
It was a demolition derby.
Oh
my gosh.
Look at this.
A chunk of the RV was ripped away.
To make matters worse here, the lady brought...
I thought them RVs were stronger than that. It had 2 trees and the whole left side just... What is the right side? Just... Oh my God.
her 2 dogs in the vehicle with her while she went for a dangerous joyride. And it gets really scary when one of the dogs does this.
Her dog.
There's Fido out there. On the
He's
front
staring
there,
out of the
front
gaping
the,
hole. Even the dog can't
just
believe it.
hanging out
He's
what
had
the
enough.
windscreen.
Out he
Oh,
goes.
shit.
Oh my God.
I mean, thankfully the pup limps away, but if this woman wasn't already in enough trouble with the police, considering her
is that blood on
dog
the
jumped
dog?
out like that, I'm sure she's catching flack from PETA as well. She goes on to ram into other vehicles, leaving a trail of destruction before one crash makes her chase come to a screeching halt. The only serious injury was to the pup that jumped from the car,
So
who
that
then
was
had
the
to wear
blood
a
from the
pair of
dog,
casts
bro.
on his front
Yeah.
and back legs until making a recovery.
reckless, bro.
If this lady is ever allowed to drive away again, I just hope that she decides to keep the pooch far away from any of the action. Number 7. If you were ever trying to outpace and escape the police, I'd imagine some of us would do just about anything to get away. Whether that be driving along the same highway at high speeds for hours on end, or even doing something as insane as boarding a moving train.
I had to stop for this train.
We are following this now.
The person
just
got out and ran. It looks like somebody
Wait,
else
was he
in the back
kidnapping
of the
somebody?
vehicle
Was
too.
this
But
somebody in
again,
the
this
backseat?
person has jumped out running on
He
foot.
Yeah, at the
feet,
end of the day,
though.
you've got to commend this guy's resolve
He
in not getting
feet.
caught. I mean, really, who here
Bruh,
can honestly
this-
say that they
this
would chase
nigga
down
getting
a
caught
moving
on.
train just to
Bro.
board it in an attempt to evade the cops?
Hey, bro, this dude
Like, the
run
man just
track.
sneaks aboard the scrap train and
100%.
rides it for a while before ditching it to take off on foot.
There in the back seat as well.
Bruh.
But again, this person running
Either
right
this
along
train is
the
going
railroad
hella
tracks.
slow, or he
Very
kicking.
close there.
You almost wonder if he's going to try to jump onto the train right there.
While the other two folks in the back of his car had already been apprehended by this point, this guy just kept on running until he was inevitably caught by police later that day. Well, obviously none of us can condone his actions. I'm sure we can all respect the effort put in by this
That
guy trying
boy
to
was
escape. The
kicking
man
it.
literally jumped
Dude's
onto a
neck
moving
and neck
train.
with the train.
Number 6. If there's one thing we've all done while playing the Grand Theft Auto series, it's easily spinning out and crashing during a police chase. Naturally, the main vehicles following you are, of course, police cruisers, and while some
See, now with me, I'm such a great driver on GTA, I barely ever crash. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a blow it, you know what I'm saying? Blow the cars up and just keep on, you know what I'm saying? Keep it pushing. Definitely the best driver out of anyone I play with, 100%.
of us just grab another pedestrian's car, the rest of us run straight for a cop car instead.
Nah.
So when this guy totaled the first vehicle he stole, the
So you gotta have your own whip. You gotta make sure the tire is bulletproof so they can't shoot you out. This is just video game talk.
next closest car just so happened to be that of the very officers who were meant to apprehend him.
Control smart cookies in general and seeing what's going to happen
doing?
here.
Oh, no.
I ain't leave that car
This
open.
did not happen.
Oh, y'all asking for it. And somebody just drove past him.
Commandeered a CHP.
Somebody just drove past him.
Somehow he manages to evade the cops and even take off with one of their cruisers, and that's not even the worst of it.
To the woman who was on her hands and knees. Both
Nigga, this
together.
goofy. What is he
another
doing?
officer that
What
just
is he
cruised.
doing?
He doesn't even know.
Nigga,
No,
goofy
this is,
shit.
he doesn't know.
I mean, you can't really blame the officer who keeps on going here.
What?
Like, how in the world would you ever expect that your peers would let a suspect get away and
Can't they
with one of
hear
their
on
own
radio
vehicles?
people talking on the
Well, I
chopper?
say get away, but the chase only continued on for like another 20 minutes before the crook was arrested. So, while his maneuvers were pretty tactical, they didn't exactly pay off in the end. Number 5. The typical signs of a police chase are cars moving rapidly at high speeds, while occasionally causing a bit of havoc and even some destruction
pushing
while
like
trying to
120.
evade custody. For this chase, though, we're veering off on a different path. Rather than stepping
What?
down on the gas as hard as he could, this driver opted to do the exact opposite.
Car chase, but this one may be the slowest ever. Fort Worth police.
I think
followed
I'm
the
trying to
biking
set a
son
record
for
or
more
something.
than 2 hours. The suspect in no hurry to escape. Crowds of gawkers.
They was
gathered
following
on
dude for
You ever
2
hear the song
hours
Slow
driving this
Ride?
slow.
It kind of does indicate to take it easy, but this takes the lyric to a whole
Bro, I
new
just
level.
got in front of
This
him,
driver
broke, said,
even
"Get up."
cultivates a
Come
crowd
on.
waving to those behind the road, acting as if it was his like own parkway parade. And while this guy lives it up, he's got those police trailing at a similar speed until eventually the driver decides to kick it into high gear.
and went the wrong way down an access road to get back on the interstate. Then, enough is enough. A police SWAT car performed a pit maneuver and rammed the back of the suspect's car, causing it to
Y'all coulda
slam into
been
the
did
concrete
that.
median.
After he's detained by police, it was revealed that the car was chock full of methamphetamine and that the driver was, of course, under the influence. And that probably explains
that's
why
how
he
you drive
eventually
so
tried to make a
slow.
break for it. Number 4. So far on this list,
Well, it
we've
was
seen
high
people
for
try
2
to escape the
hours?
police on trains, in RVs, and even in other officers' cars. However, one thing we've yet to see, and will likely not see for some time, is a culprit trying to get away on his longboard.
Traffic clutching the longboard. And then came the move worthy of a movie, if only it had worked. For 5 seconds, the suspect tried to skateboard away from officers in hot pursuit on foot.
Before all this, the man was being pursued by police in a car he'd previously stolen before crashing into the back of another driver's vehicle. Knowing he'd be caught if he did nothing, he did the first thing that came to his mind and tried to carve his name in the history books by attempting his
don't
own
even look
version
that
of the
athletic.
Great Escape. With that in mind though, if I were this guy, I probably would have just thrown it away and ran as fast as I could, but then again, regardless of what method he used, there was no escaping the long arm of the law.
Police were closing in. The same red pickup cut him off and practically pinned him.
Whoa! Who's that guy?
Next time he decides to try
bro,
and
if
evade
you
the
really
police,
trying
I
to get
just hope he
away-
brings something a
Hold
little
on.
quicker.
If you was really trying to get away, you would have hopped over the front of that jump. Boy, you would have scaled the front of that jump quick as hell, just kept it pushing.
Than a longboard as a backup plan. Number 3. In most police chases, people start in a car and end up running on foot, but this chase begins on foot as the criminal was originally caught and was being treated on a stretcher near an ambulance. But right before he was processed and cuffed, he opted to jump up and take the emergency vehicle for a spin.
Police say they shot him 3 times as he reversed and hit 2 officers in uniform. For almost 90 minutes, Giverowski leads police on a tour of Frankfurt and Cotman Avenues.
See, I don't even want to speak on it. Y'all know what I'm about to say. I don't even want to speak on it. That was in a whole black and white situation. But homeboy was already apprehended. I'm probably screaming out here. Already apprehended. Shot 3. They say they shot him 3 times, bro. If y'all look back, I don't want to go back. Y'all can click back. All 3 of them got tasers on his body. Ain't nobody shoot no gun. And whole dude is trying to steal an ambulance. Rather than somebody being 30 feet away from an officer and get shot 16 times in front of their mama. But that's all I'm going to say.
And side streets around the boulevard.
It takes a special kind of person to take an ambulance, vehicle typically used for transporting the sick or injured, and instead use it as a getaway car. Then again, considering he was going to be charged for assault anyway, it makes his desperate attempt at escape seem a little more understandable. But regardless of whatever vehicle he decided to steal, it was bound to need a tow after the chase.
For 4 minutes, he tries to get in front of Giverowski. His persistence pays. He flattens a front tire before spinning out.
Finally got the right tire, and he still was going. He was down like 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, this tow truck driver is definitely a hero for his actions here, because shortly after he popped the guy's front right tire, a spike strip finished the job, making it easy for the police to get the criminal back in custody. And while the chase only went on for like 20 minutes or so, it definitely would have lasted much longer if it weren't for this truck driver showing up to work early. Talk about dedication. Number 2. Alright, if you can't tell by now, these chases come in all shapes and sizes, but the very last person you'd ever expect to see behind the wheel, well, are little kids. In the case of this 7-year-old, he had his first encounter with the law on a bright Sunday morning.
Weber County Sheriff's patrol car as the deputy followed the boy, unaware of just how young that driver was. It was a wild ride, but the little guy never went over 35.
And while you can't really tell that it's a kid with him just driving along, it gets a lot easier to see once he pulls up to his family's driveway.
They'll never find me under the bed.
Yeah, if I were to categorize the boy's skill as a driver.
The kid just ran right inside and told his dad that the cops were outside without giving him literally any context. So when the officer went ahead and told the dad what his son had been up to before church, he was just as confused as any of us probably would be in that situation. I mean, in all fairness to the kid, when I was young, I remember always wanting to know how it felt to kind of like jump behind the wheel of a car. And while nowadays it's become a regular part of life for most of us, to this 7-year-old it must have been an exhilarating experience. I mean, fair play to the kid. Honestly, it's just impressive that he came out of it uninjured and that he actually managed to drive pretty well for being 7. Next time, let's just hope he waits until he's at least 16 before taking his folks' car out for a spin. Finally coming in at our number 1 spot, we're taking a look across the pond to a pursuit that happened in London, England. Conventionally, if you're trying to escape police custody, your vehicle of choice would usually be something small and fast, right? Well, for this intoxicated driver, he opted for something with a little more destructive power to go about on his rampage.
Overtaken. It's just prior to the north end sort of roundabout.
Just said, pretty loud, but the vehicle just tried to get off the slip road.
Like I mentioned before, our driver here is under the influence, meaning that he likely has no regard for anyone else on the road. With that in mind, you can imagine he's not exactly the most careful when trying to avoid the very cops that are chasing him.
Yeah, it's still got an officer. You need to get yourself out of sight. If he sees you, he'll go for you. He already has done once before.
He goes on to hit several other police cruisers along his trail of carnage. You see what I did there? Okay, kind of cringe. Well, anyway, of course the driver was inevitably caught by police, but not before he caused plenty of damage to all of those police cars who decided to get in the way of his 12-ton dump truck destruction. Thankfully, that was the majority of the damage caused by this insane chase, and fortunately for everyone involved, no one was seriously injured. But hey, click on screen right now to check out this video. This has been Tommy.
Alright, that's the video right there. You know what I'm saying? This big boy just call me E. I don't know, bro. Which one? I feel like some of those should have been rearranged a little differently. I feel like the kid was probably number 1, because the number 1 with the big old construction truck and all that. But a kid driving that smoothly at 7, like, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do you? But it's been your boy, just call me E. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. Because I think I be checking it, like 50-something% of y'all not subscribed. But thanks for watching the video, you know what I'm saying? If you mess with me, you mess with me, you know what I'm saying? Join the crew, hit the subscribe button, turn the post notifications on, hit that share button, share the video, hit that like button, like the video, comment down below what y'all want to see next. And as always, I will see y'all in the next video. Deuces.